What is going on, YouTube? Fascinating graveyard. Today we are in McAlester, Oklahoma. This is the Oak Hill Cemetery. I always come to the cemetery because I'm always driving between Texas and Missouri, and this highway right here, Highway 75/69. This is the way I usually take to get up to that area. So today we are going to be visiting the grave of one Nannie Doss. Who's Nannie Doss? Well, she is affectionately known in the true crime realm as either the Giggling Nanny, the Giggling Granny, or possibly the Lonely Hearts Killer, or just a you-know-what, just a true you-know-what. Yeah, this woman is not very nice. Why? Because she killed a lot of people. Yeah, she killed quite a few people. The count is not exact, but yeah, let's just talk about her really quickly because a lot of people on YouTube have done videos about her. So I'll give you a quick rundown of who she was. So originally, Nannie Doss was born in 1905. She was one of 5 children. She grew up on a farm, and her father, one of those strict religious guys, didn't allow his kids to really be friends with other children. He didn't even allow them to go to school. All they did was just farm work. That's why, they didn't have a lot of social interactions with kids their age. They weren't really allowed to dress like the other girls or other boys. Weren't allowed to wear makeup. And Nannie, in that sense, she kind of lived somewhat of a very reclusive, miserable life. Didn't have any friends other than her siblings. And she longed to escape that farm. And when her mother wasn't looking, she would read her romance magazines. And she dreamed of a day where Prince Charming would come up and just rescue her and take her away from that horrid life that she was living over there. Existence was the word I was looking for. So when she was 16 years old, she married a guy that was a co-worker of hers at a linen factory by the name of Charlie Braggs. And with her father's blessing, maybe she didn't really like this guy too much, but she's like, at least I can get the heck out of this farm. So they ended up getting married, and they had 4 children. Now, 2 of their children died under unusual circumstances. So they had 4 children: Gertrude, Zelmer, Florine, and Melvina. And Gertrude died on September 25th, 1923. Gertrude was a baby, only about 8 months old. Maybe they don't know why the baby died. Maybe it could have been just, who knows what happens. And then they had another baby, 2-year-old Zelmer, died on the 30th of August, 1927. So after the second child's death, they only have 2 kids left. And eventually the marriage kind of fell apart. And I don't know why, but Charlie, he ended up taking Florine. And then Nannie, she took Melvina. So now the kids are separated, and they go about their merry way. So, I guess Nannie starts looking up for those, those ads for like lonely people or whatever. You don't have, back in those days, you didn't have Tinder or OK Stupid. So you had the newspaper column. So you just say, hey, single white guy, hey, single white female, whatever. So she would read these comments, and then she started exchanging letters with a man by the name of Frank Harrelson. Frank Harrelson, he'd like to do a couple of things. He'd like to write very racy letters to Nannie, and he also liked to drink a lot. And later on, Nannie would find out that this Frank character could be quite abusive, to say the least. Now, despite the fact that, eventually when they met, they got married, it did last for about 16 years. It was an abusive relationship. So Frank Harrelson died of food poisoning. Who knows? Food poisoning. All right, food poisoning. So he dies on September 15th, 1945. And of course, he had a little bit of life insurance. So Nannie takes whatever money from his life insurance policy and buys a little piece of property out in the middle of nowhere. So now she's alone again. She is a widow. So what does she do? Well, she goes ahead and, starts looking up ads, lonely hearts, columns, stuff like that. She's looking for the perfect mate, if you will. Looking for the perfect mate. So later on, she meets another man by the name of Richard Morton. Richard Morton, he would kind of die a similar way. Maybe he died of food poisoning. Maybe he died of whatever. So he died. And before that, she had met another man that she married named Arlie Lanning. Heavy drinker, heart problems. He ends up dying too. Wow, man, these guys are dropping like flies. She had one husband that they divorced, so, he went on about his business. And then she had Arlie Lanning. He died. You had Richard Morton. He died. You got Frank Harrelson. He died. So you got 3 dead husbands. Oh, and let's not forget the fact that something happened with her grandchildren. Melvina's kids. She had a newborn that the theory is that Nannie stabbed this baby with some kind of like a hairpin in its skull. Supposedly Melvina seen her mother like stabbing the baby or sticking something in the baby's head. Maybe she said in later newspaper articles that she was dreaming. She didn't know what she was seeing. Well, the baby ended up dying. So maybe the baby died of SIDS. Who knows? And Melvina had another child named Robert. He was 2 years old, and Nannie was babysitting him, and oh yeah, he died too. You got a lot of people dying around this woman. That's really, really crazy. I know the story gets really convoluted. There's plenty of articles online to kind of research this story. But so anyway, so Nannie, she's like running out of husbands, right? So again, she meets a man up by Tulsa, I believe. And this is the one. Now there's no way this guy's gonna die. This guy's just, he's too perfect. He's too perfect, and she loves him. So that is the man whose name she took in marriage, Samuel Doss, right? So Samuel Doss, she marries him. Not far long into the marriage, maybe about a year or so, he develops like really messed up stomach problems and breathing problems. So they admit him to the hospital. So this guy is like really, really sick, almost died. Thank God he lived. And the doctor that was caring for him at the time, he was very suspicious that this sounded like it could be arsenic poisoning. Well, his suspicions went away because all of a sudden Samuel got a lot better, and he was able to leave the hospital. So he had the strength and felt good enough to leave the hospital to go back home, so his wife can finally just finish off the job. So he ends up dying of whatever else. So the doctor is very suspicious of this, and he tells Nannie, he's like, I want to do an autopsy on your husband just to make sure that that what he died of. It could us learning about his autopsy could probably save the lives of countless middle-aged men his age. So at first she doesn't consent to the autopsy. Finally, the doctor just calls the police. He's like, look, I got a bad feeling about this. We needed to get an autopsy done of this guy. We need to have it done ASAP. So they do an autopsy. Come to find out, this guy has a massive amount of arsenic in his body. Like a massive amount, like enough to kill 4 horses and 3 donkeys. So they start looking at this crazy lady, and they're like, she had about 3 other husbands that died in very similar weird ways. So they exhume a couple of the people that had died under her watch, and lo and behold, they have high levels of arsenic in their bodies too. Oh, and let's not forget her mother, Nannie Doss's own mother, who had broken her hip, died under her care. Oh, and her sister too. Yeah, this girl this woman's a psychopath. She kills her sister. She kills her mother. She killed 4 of her husbands. she killed 2 of her grandchildren. And there's other people that she's suspected of killing. The death toll is as high as 11 or 12. They don't really know, but I believe she admitted to at least those murders. So the police interview her, and they said, okay, listen, you know, we just had the autopsy done of your husband, and we got the autopsy reports of the other people, and there's a lot of arsenic in their bodies. Like, can you just explain to us what happened? And she didn't even bat an eye. She said, I killed him. And then she starts laughing about it. And these detectives, like, they're looking at this crackpot that they're sitting across the table from, and that's why they called her the Giggling Granny, because every time she talked about how she murdered them, she just could not stop laughing. I mean, there's plenty of pictures online of just her smiling and just being a complete and utter remorseless goof. Now, I don't know why they didn't try to seek the death penalty against her, but they ended up she ended up pleading guilty to at least the last murder. I don't know if it says online that she was tried and convicted of the murder of Samuel Doss. I don't know if they combined the murders of everybody else, or they just gave her that one murder and they just said, you know, we don't want to pay for other trials or whatever, so let's just get this one, and that's it. And she was sentenced to life in prison. She did her time at the McAllister prison, right? Well, you can't see it. If I had a drone, you could probably see it as it flew over there. But anyways, she ended up dying of leukemia, I believe, in 1965. You know, like I said, if you want to like kind of read the story, there's plenty of articles online if you just Google her name, or you can just watch another YouTuber who has done a video about her. Except I'm the only one that I know of that has at least visited the grave. And this is it right here. There's no flowers, there's no decorations. All it is her grave. Grave right here, and can you see it? Nannie Doss, November 4th, 1904 to June 2nd, 1965. Aha, so I was wrong. She wasn't born in 1905. She was born November 4th, 1904. Oops. Anyways. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see her name, but yeah, there it is right there. So anyways, the Giggling Granny. So, yeah. So at least she's in the ground where she can no longer kill her mates. Payable on death is what I always say. And one of the detectives was talking to her, and he says, why did you just kill all your husbands? And she basically said in so many words, oh, you know, anytime there was a problem with one of my husbands, I just killed him just to kind of get it over with, you know, just to kind of find something new, because I was looking for that one true love of my life. And once I found out with husband number A, husband number B, so forth and so on, that he wasn't the one, I just killed him. That's it. Anyways, guys, my name is Lamont, Fascinating Graveyard. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I kind of rushed through it, but you know, if you want to find out more information, hey, it's readily available online. I will catch up with you guys on the next vlog. Got to end this video before my battery quits. All right, guys, peace out.